Greetings, Invader Scum. This is Pincognito, aka Pinko, back with episode number 8. I have a half hour or so on Life of a Finger. I apologize for the delay. Short story is life is busy, so these are going to come out at a slower pace. I'm just not playing as often, so I don't have as many opportunities to get footage that's interesting and to edit and to voice over and all that good stuff. But I'm still playing, and so I still plan on making these as often as I can. And so I hope you keep watching. So we're going to get right into it. This is a character we've seen before, Carnifex Canary, my Executioner of Ash. I think in the last series with this character we used the Executioner Greatsword. This time I'm using the Black Knight Sword. I had not played for a week or two when I did these invasions, so I wanted a nice, simple, strong weapon, and the Black Knight Sword certainly qualifies. And so we can see here there's a party of at least a host and a phantom, and now a blue. And I've been kind of patiently waiting here. There's no enemies for me to go out to for support out there on that rooftop. They've killed the wizard before I even arrived. So I was being very patient in this invasion, perhaps too patient, but I was willing to let the action come to me rather than to go and force the issue. They had to come that way to continue to progress through the level, so I was happy to wait things out. And the host popped a seed. I don't know why. I'm not really sure where the host thought I was hiding. Maybe, I guess, up by the jailers. If you walk up towards to get the key. But I just waited it out. No need to rush in. So now I can approach the party from the back, which gives me some element of surprise. Host is able to get away, but blue backstabs me, but blue is already dead, so backstab does no damage. Unfortunately, pretty laggy interaction between the blue and I there, but I don't think that manifests again against the host and the phantom. So this was a difficult invasion. Players were decent, but the main difficulty was they were very passive here, and not unwisely, but they refused to leave this room. So here I'm trying to get them kind of aggravated enough to come meet me out here in a more friendly terrain for my purposes, but they are not willing to leave this room. And it obviously gives them a strategic advantage. It's a small room, and it's relatively easy to get pinned by two opponents in here. Be pretty easy to get stun locked. So I'm kind of just patiently waiting things out. These, I forget what these are called. These, these magic throwing knives from the DLC. I guess they are fast. I don't quite see the purpose of them over throwing knives. Maybe they do more damage. Someone wiser than me can let me know in the comments what the advantage of using them is. But yeah, the host is inviting me in, and frankly, I think I was getting a little bored with the back and forth in this doorway. So even though, frankly, I don't think it's the wisest move, I decided to enter. Now, I do have a place I can hide in here, which is right here, behind this mimic chest, because unless it's their first playthrough, they know that they can't attack that chest without making things a lot more lively in here. So this is a place I can retreat to, which is quite convenient in a space this small with two opponents. So I can out-hyper armor both of these people. So I'm really looking for trades at the outset here. I can outpoise a one-handed curved sword all day, that's for sure. And the scythe is not going to cause me any troubles either. So just kind of feeling things out, trying to find safe spaces to get in. Finally, remember I have Perseverance available. Able to do some good damage. I stick around too long there and eat some hits. The damage reduction from Perseverance is fairly narrow window. So you do have to be careful. You just can't waltz in like you're the Terminator. And I think that time I just hung out too long. So I don't use this often, but I use the blue rime moss in order to prevent from getting frostbite. That damage can catch up to you in a hurry. I actually have a low-level invader that uses the Irithos Greatsword, and it constantly catches people by surprise, that extra damage from the frostbite. So I was being very cautious in this invasion, trying to make sure that I didn't get caught off guard and kind of die because I wasn't paying attention to my frostbite meter. So you see me using a lot of the one-handed moveset here. That's probably because I like it against two opponents because it's got the sweeping attacks. There's the Phantom trying to do like a prediction parry. But it also allows me to parry. Beautiful. So he had Tears of Denial, so I bring up my throwing knives in my menu immediately, and I'm able to tag him as he rolls away. That was a nice sequence. I was pretty pleased with that. The Scythe is a really easy weapon to get set up parries on. The attack is so telegraphed that if you're using the Scythe and the person blocks your first R1, you cannot swing again against any decent player. They will absolutely parry you. There, I thought I could interrupt the Chaos Bed Vestiges. I was incorrect and took a ton of damage. There, I roll through, much better. Playing a little sloppy here. Like I said, I don't think I'd played for a week or two at this point. But still doing alright. 2 Estus. I've got things under control for the most part. Not doing a great job of roll catching with the Greatsword. Now the blue. I'm not sure what got him, but he never makes it to the party. So the host is trying to bait me in for attacks with the Chaos Bed Vestiges, but not a great strategy given the weapon matchup. There, I finally get the roll catch, able to end things. So despite the kind of passivity there of the host and the Phantom, that was pretty fun. It's good stuff. So this was an interesting invasion for me. I think it kind of illustrates why retreating can often be the best strategy available. We'll see it's a very large party that we're going to be tangling with. And so finding the appropriate times to engage is critical. So we see our first Sumbro. Able to do a little damage as a form of greeting. Then we see, if you cut there quickly, there are 3 Phantoms and the host. So a large party. So yeah, here they come. They're very excited to see me. So we got Moonlight Greatsword. What did that Sumbro have? Some kind of straight sword. I didn't notice. He walks right into my Greatsword, which is very helpful, but I swing one too many times and just leave myself wide open for the backstab. Pretty foolish. So this is an okay place to fight for now, but I cannot hang out in this hallway with 4 people. I'm just going to get stun locked to death. I don't want to go back the other way, and so I want to head further, essentially further into the level. I was frankly pissed at my play in the hallway there, so I chuck a firebomb. Now I'm going further into the level in a sense that I can still get back to where they are headed. I wasn't sure whether they would follow me in order to end me, or whether they would continue on to head back towards the bonfire, and they do the latter. So I know at this point I've got to make my way back to where they are, and it's a bit of a hike, but invasion is not lost yet. They are almost certainly headed back to the profane capital bonfire. I was hanging out here just to make sure they weren't making their way back over. Like going down where the giant is, but there was no activity that I could see. So I eventually make my way. They've obviously ran through this whole level. So one thing I hadn't considered during the invasion, but I think becomes apparent later, is that they may have actually started all the way back at the Earthel Dungeon Bonfire, given how much destruction we saw there in the Earthel Dungeon level. And you'll see there's some of these phantoms appear to be pretty low on Estus as this invasion progresses, which is helpful. So here I can see the party gathering by the Profane Capital Bonfire. That was a poor decision, I think, to chuck that bomb at the Sunbro. I gave away my position, which is not terrible, but I really have nowhere to go if they decided to rush me. So I'm not sure what I was thinking. Fortunately, they're not interested in chasing me. They're interested in just continuing to play the level, which works to my advantage here. So I'm happy to give chase. So these, I can't remember what they're called. The jailers in the white robes. These former denizens of the Profane Capital. They're not super tough mobs, although they can deal out some damage with the fireballs. Obviously, the gargoyles are a more significant obstacle that I can use to my advantage. So, obviously, group of 4, I can't just roll up and attack wherever. I have to choose my spots and get out. It's just way too easy to get stunlocked to death, and all it takes is one swing for that to happen. So I'm being really cautious here. This white phantom that goes up top, never quite clear what his plan is, but it is a distraction for me. I have to be careful. I can't stray too far to the left there without potentially getting plunge attacked. I have a weird sequence here. My running attack goes flying past the Sunbro. He turns to attack and ends up doing a backstab. I assume we just had some lag there that created that kind of weird exchange. So that white phantom with a butcher knife still just hanging out up top. He may have been just trying to distract the gargoyle so the rest of his team could go in and finish it off. I'm not sure. The white phantom could have done some damage to me if he hadn't tried to use the dark hand. I'm not sure. I mean, it would have been cool, but good luck hitting that, man. I'd have to be half asleep for that to hit under those circumstances. So that gargoyle is finished off, so I'm making my way to the only other area where I have got appreciable mob enemies for support. Just trying to deal safe damage whenever I can. That would have been a good time to parry when he did that roll. Almost certain he was going to try to attack. So you can see I'm using the one-handed moveset a lot because of the sweeping horizontal attack. There's a better chance. He does the rolling attack again. Better chance of hitting multiple opponents. there I finally went for it and he rolled back out. So I'd missed 2 golden opportunities for that rolling attack parry, and then the one time I tried is the time he rolls right back. So I switched to the Night Slayer ring here because the host and 2 of the other phantoms are using their shields a lot. And with the Black Knight sword plus the Night Slayer ring, you can break down the shield stability in a hurry. Here, I'm desperate to take out somebody, that white phantom, and I slightly mistimed the rush, but I'm able to take out the white phantom as he's doing that special attack from the Moonlight Greatsword. So I'll take that trade. That worked out pretty well. So I've worked my way through all my decent fire bombs, and I have a poorly stocked reservoir of regular fire bombs, so I'm forced to kind of chuck lightning urns when this character's not really built for that. So they're being decently aggressive here, which is good in general, although they're at great risk of aggroing that gargoyle if they get closer into the level. There, I think I just wasn't expecting the Sumbro to start swinging so quickly, but I basically just walk into a string of R1s. Just trying to choose my spots. There, I'm a little late to initiate my attacks, and I end up eating a couple R1s. This is just kind of like a battle of attrition, and unfortunately for me, even if they are low on Estus, that's not likely to go in my favor. Kind of their collective healing and damage dealing power is greater than my singular. And just to spice things up, we've got a blue on the way. Now, this is bad in terms of numbers, obviously, but potentially quite good because it's a potential 2 Estus refill, which I certainly could use in this invasion at this point. And fortunately for me, this blue is a little more brave than they need to be. And they come in to take me on by themselves in this mob of enemies, which is just not a good idea. I mean, yeah, it's not strategically sound, let's put it that way. Ordinarily not a terrible trade for me, but since I have no Estus at this point, trading anything is atrocious. So I make the decision here to use the Divine Blessing. You don't often, or routinely anyway, get into winnable 4v1s. I felt like this was winnable, and fortunately my faith is rewarded almost immediately, and I'm able to take out that blue with the considerable help from my friends here. So now I've got 2 Estus. This white's in trouble. Party's kind of retreating in the face of the mob enemies. I'm out of I'm out of stuff to chuck at the party. Here I've got a shot right now. So I just managed my space there well against the butcher knife. Managed to break the stability on the Sumbro shield, and now we've very rapidly gone from a 3v1 to a 1v1. A Night Slayer ring doing some work in this invasion. Lovely roll catches. So that, 4v1 victory, good invasion by definition. Alright, so this is the last invasion actually in this episode. These ran a little long. There was going to be a 4th one, but the video got really quite corrupted and it wasn't that interesting. So anyway, I came down here to try to save the fist face thing, but of course it died as soon as I landed, and ended up in a room with 3 opponents and no support, so not ideal. So I make a hasty retreat to the wizard, who is dead. So at that point I make the wise decision to do a little turn and burn to get me a little space to heal. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough space because I eat a ton of hits in the meantime. A semi-quick ring swap there, although frankly if they had been chasing me aggressively I think they would have cut me pretty easily. But they were content to kind of watch me fall and retreat and heal. But it's a strategic retreat. We intended to return, and so we did. So just kind of scoping things out. I like, frankly, I like hanging up here by the jailers. It's a nice place to spring an attack. You've got some temporary support from the jailers, who can deal out some pretty good damage, but with a party of 3 like this, they can dispense with the jailers pretty quickly. So this party was taking a while to come up, so I'm kind of checking things out. Trying to get a handle on what's going on. I see the gold approaching, so I'll make my way back up again, anticipating that the larger party will follow. And eventually, we say hello to the host. We say hello to the Sumbro. Almost take out the Sumbro if we got that roll catch. Wait a minute. And here, the host catches me. Irritate me a little bit. Actually, not quite yet. We'll see in a sec. We're playing kind of hide and seek around the corner here. I missed everything right there. And there, I didn't even quite realize he was doing a charge attack until it was much too late. And man, this charge attack, easiest thing to parry in the game. But I didn't have my parry shield out, so I just ate it. White Phantom foolishly tries to trade with me. Pays the price. Now, Sorcerer in a narrow hallway with another opponent is nasty business. So Sorcerer is my #1 priority by far. And fortunately for me, Sorcerer has not healed. So I know it's going to take very little to take care of them. Host with another R2. Man, the host loved the R2s. To the point of excessive predictability, frankly. So here I'm able to tag the Sumbro. I'm able to throw the firebomb before he starts casting, so he's kind of stuck in his casting animation. Or just wasn't paying attention. One or the other. So another charged R2. There I was kind of trying to pivot for the backstab, but I just timed it poorly. And I must have tried to attack after the second. Got stunned. There, though, I'm able to pivot around for the backstab. Try to get a roll catch with the R2, but those are tough to connect with. Another charged R2 from the host. Another charged R2 from the host. Gets him a backstab. Just being way too predictable. I doubt the host meant to kick there. It was nearly the end of him. I can't quite finish the roll catch chain there. R2 after R2. Parry shield comes out. Parry attempt gets backstabbed. Panic ensues. Roll catches. Save the day. So that's it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and hopefully not too long before the next one. Thanks a lot.